What's up, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into some of the most epic stories ever told. These aren't just ancient tales. They're packed with drama, miracles, and lessons that still hit hard today. We're counting down the top 10 most iconic stories from the Old Testament, brought to life with some absolutely stunning visuals. So buckle up, because we're about to go on a wild ride through history, faith, and jaw-dropping moments. Let's get this countdown started. Kicking things off at number 10, we have the creation. Picture this absolute nothingness. Then, in a span of just 6 days, light pierces the darkness, skies and seas are formed, and the earth bursts forth with plants and living creatures. Genesis chapter 1 lays it all out. It's the ultimate origin story, the very beginning of everything we know. From the sun, moon, and stars to the first man and woman, Adam and Eve, this is where the entire narrative of the Bible begins. It's a breathtaking account of divine power and artistry, setting the stage for every story that follows. The sheer scale of it is mind-boggling and easily earns its spot on our list. Rolling in at number 9 is the legendary story of Noah's Ark. Found in Genesis chapter 6, this tale is an absolute classic. God sees the world has become a pretty chaotic place, so he tasks Noah, a righteous man, with an enormous project: build a massive ark. Why? A great flood is coming to wash the world clean. Noah has to gather his family of every kind of animal yet, every single one, and get them all on board. Imagine the logistics. For 40 days and 40 nights, rain pours down and the world is submerged. But inside the ark, Noah's floating zoo is safe. It's a story of faith, obedience, and the promise of a fresh start, symbolized by the rainbow that appears after the waters recede. It's a tale that has captivated imaginations for centuries. Coming in hot at number 8, we have the Tower of Babel. This one, from Genesis chapter 11, is all about human ambition and its consequences. After the Great Flood, humanity is united, speaking one language. They get this grand idea: let us build a city with a tower that reaches all the way to the heavens. We'll make a name for ourselves. They're feeling pretty proud, but this display of arrogance doesn't go unnoticed. God sees their pride and decides to mix things up a bit. He confuses their language, so suddenly no one can understand each other. Construction grinds to a halt, and people scatter across the face of the earth, forming different nations and languages. It's a powerful reminder about humility and the limits of human ambition. At number 7, we have the vibrant and dramatic story of Joseph's coat of many colors. Head over to Genesis chapter 37 for this one. Joseph is the favorite son of his father, Jacob, who gives him a stunning, colorful coat. This doesn't sit well with his 10 older brothers, who are already jealous of Joseph's dreams that seem to predict felines one day rule over them. Their envy boils over and they plot against him. They sell him into slavery in Egypt and tell their father he was attacked by a wild animal, using the torn, blood-stained coat as fake evidence. It's a heartbreaking story of betrayal and family dysfunction. But don't worry, this is just the beginning of Joseph's incredible journey from a pit to a palace, a true zero-to-hero epic that shows how even the worst situations can be turned around for good. Now for number 6, Moses and the burning bush. This is a pivotal moment in the book of Exodus. Chapter 3, Moses, who fled Egypt after taking a life, is now living as a humble shepherd in the desert. One day, he is minding his own business when he sees something incredible, a bush that is on fire but isn't burning up. As he gets closer to investigate this strange sight, a voice calls out to him from the flames. It's God. He tells Moses that he has heard the cries of his people, the Israelites, who are enslaved in Egypt, and guess who he's chosen to lead them to freedom? Moses himself. Moses is full of doubt, asking, "Who am I to do this?" But this divine encounter changes everything, setting him on a path to become one of history's greatest leaders. Cracking our top 5 is the parting of the Red Sea. This is pure blockbuster movie material, straight out of Exodus chapter 14. Moses has led the Israelites out of Egypt, but the furious Pharaoh changes his mind and sends his entire army, chariots and all, to chase them down. The Israelites are trapped between the charging army and the vast Red Sea. It looks like the end of the line. Panic sets in, but Moses, guided by God, raises his staff over the water. And then the impossible happens. A strong wind blows all night, and the sea splits in two, creating a dry path right through the middle, with walls of water on either side. The Israelites hurry across to safety. As the Egyptian army foolishly follows, the waters crash back down, swallowing them whole. It's one of the most powerful and spectacular miracles in the entire Bible, a testament to faith and deliverance against all odds. At number 4, we have the fall of the walls of Jericho. This story from Joshua chapter 6 is a masterclass in unconventional warfare. After wandering the desert for 40 years, the Israelites are finally ready to enter the Promised Land. But their first obstacle is the heavily fortified city of Jericho. Its walls are massive and impenetrable. A direct assault would be suicide. So God gives them a very strange battle plan. For 6 days, they are to march around the city once a day in complete silence, led by priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant. Then on the 7th day, they are to march around 7 times. After the last lap, the priests are to blow their trumpets, and all the people are to shout as loud as they can. They follow the instructions perfectly, and on that 7th day, with the blast of trumpets and a mighty roar from the people, the formidable walls of Jericho come crashing down. It's a powerful lesson that victory doesn't always come through conventional strength, but through faith and obedience. Our number 3 spot goes to Samson's final strength. Found in Judges chapter 16, this is the climactic end to the story of a man blessed with superhuman strength, but plagued by personal weakness. Samson was a Nazirite, consecrated to God, and the secret to his strength was in his uncut hair. But he falls in love with Delilah, who was bribed by his enemies, the Philistines, to discover his secret. After nagging him relentlessly, he finally gives in and tells her. While he sleeps, she has his hair cut, and his strength vanishes. The Philistines capture him, gouge out his eyes, and force him to grind grain in a prison. But his story isn't over. At a great festival, the Philistines bring the blind Samson out to mock him. Standing between the 2 main pillars of the temple, Samson prays to God for one last burst of strength. His prayer is answered. He pushes against the pillars with all his might, and the entire temple collapses, taking down thousands of his enemies along with himself. It's a tragic but awe-inspiring tale of redemption and sacrifice. Runner-up at number 2 is the ultimate underdog story, David versus Goliath. This legendary showdown is in 1 Samuel chapter 17. The Israelite army is cowering in fear before the Philistine champion, Goliath, a giant of a man over 9 feet tall, decked out in heavy bronze armor. For 40 days, he taunts them, challenging anyone to a one-on-one fight to decide the battle. No one dares. Then along comes David, a young shepherd boy sent to bring food to his brothers on the front lines. He hears Goliath's insults and is outraged. Filled with faith, he volunteers to fight the giant. Rejecting the king's heavy armor, David walks out to face Goliath with only his shepherd's staff, a sling, and 5 smooth stones. Goliath laughs at the sight of him, but David, declaring he comes in the name of the Lord, slings a single stone. It strikes the giant squarely on the forehead, and Goliath falls face down. David's victory is a timeless symbol of how courage and faith can overcome even the most intimidating obstacles. And finally, our number 1 most iconic Old Testament story is Daniel in the lion's den. This nail-biting tale of faith under pressure comes from the book of Daniel, chapter 6. Daniel is a man of incredible integrity, a trusted official in the Babylonian Empire. But his jealous colleagues trick King Darius into signing an unbreakable decree. For 30 days, anyone who prays to any god or man other than the king will be thrown into the lion's den. Daniel, a devout man, doesn't change his routine. He continues to pray to God 3 times a day in front of his open window. He's caught, and the king, though heartbroken, must follow his own law. Daniel is thrown into a den of hungry lions, and the den is sealed with a stone. The king spends a sleepless night, and at the first light of dawn, he rushes to the den, calling out to see if Daniel's God was able to save him. And from inside the den, Daniel's voice rings out, "My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. He is completely unharmed." This story is the ultimate testament to unwavering faith and divine protection in the face of mortal danger, securing its spot as number 1 on our list. And there you have it, our top 10 countdown of the most iconic stories from the Old Testament. From the dawn of creation to the den of lions, these stories have shaped cultures and inspired countless people for thousands of years. They're filled with action, drama, and profound truths that are just as relevant today as they were back then. What did you think of our list? Did your favorite make the cut? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next one. See you next time. Here is the final recap of our top 10 Old Testament stories. From the beginning of time in Genesis to Daniel's incredible faith in the lion's den, these epic moments continue to inspire. Check out the references on screen to dive deeper into these amazing accounts yourself.